The citrus longhorned beetle causes billions of dollars of damage across Southeast Asia annually. We'll talk about that and more fun citrus longhorned beetle facts as I sketch this little bug. So let's just turn the page and get started. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I've got something on me. No, it's my microphone. It just looks like something's on me. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's 5:30 in the morning on a Sunday morning. 5:30 in the morning on Sunday morning is when I like to do a little thing where I pull a random object from the random object randomographer and I draw it and we talk about it. And today's random object from the random object randomographer is a citrus longhorned beetle. And I say this every time. I can't tell you how hard it is for me to spell the word beetle with two E's. And not with an A. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. It's very difficult for me to not spell that with an A. But today's random object from the random object randomographer is a citrus longhorn beetle, not to be confused with the Asian longhorn beetle. We'll talk about that in a minute. But this is a wood-boring beetle that causes billions of dollars of damage. I'm getting too tied up in the details too quickly. It's going to mess up the composition. Hang on, I gotta finish putting in the positioning of this bug, or I'm going to run out of page. And I don't want to run out of page. I want to make sure that I have room for everything. And see how I started on the details on the thorax and on the neck and on the head, when I should have just blocked in where everything was supposed to go first. That way I don't run the risk of running out of room on my paper. Composition is everything. Anyway, back to what I was saying. These things bore into the base of a tree and eat the tree from the roots up, and they can live in the tree for years, 3 to 4 years, before anybody even notices they're there. And then all of a sudden, when they notice them, the damage is the only reason they notice them is because the damage is so extensive that it can't be saved, that it's likely to not be saved. And that portion of the tree usually has to be cut off to save the rest of the tree. Yeah, see, I put that thorax way forward because I didn't position the rest of the bug. So now I'm fighting for room for that leg. Anyway, what happens is the females will go up to the tree and bore and cut out a T-shaped hole in the tree, the letter T, and they will put their eggs inside the hole. And about 2 weeks later, up to 300 eggs will hatch, and the larvae will start spreading up into the root system, from the root system up into the tree, because they're at the base of the tree. And they'll start spreading up into the tree, and then when the larvae pupate, they will come back down and they'll start the whole process again, boring from the bottom up. And it does extensive damage to the roots, to the root system. Billions of dollars of damage to the citrus industry. These guys are shiny and black with white spots. This is a Toymani model, Toymani or Toymani, however you say it, model, and it is fantastic. It has great detail. Just a beautiful model. Good morning, Rick. I see Rick is in the chat this morning. Rick is suffering from birthday cake hangover. He had a birthday yesterday and he's having a difficult time waking up because of the carb crash. And that carb crash will sure enough get you. I tell you, on Sundays when I go after the show, I go and I get an apple fritter. And it is all I can do. I come home and I try to just take a quick nap to get the apple fritter out of my system. But it's sure that carb crash is sure a killer. But which birthday was this? 39, 40? And what kind of cake did you have? We're all depriving ourselves of cake. We want to live through you vicariously. I'm trying to make sure that my t-shirts don't overlap the counter anymore when I sit at the counter here and draw. So far, I've not been successful.
Yes.
Chocolate dump cake. 73. Wow, I had that exactly backwards, huh? I knew better. 73. That's enough pencil marks. I'm moving the pen. Using drawing instruments is always a good reason to drink coffee. Not know this about me, but drawing insects and frogs and snails is actually one of my favorite things in the whole wide world. I like the tiny things that are, creepy is not the right word. This one is actually, the model is actually bigger than the real life. Actually, not by much though, because the real life is only about an inch to inch and a half. And so this model is sitting right at, I'm going to say 2 inches from head to tail, not including the antennae. But this model is 2 inches, but the real bug's only about an inch and a half on the large size.
This one is the one that takes away our orange juice.
He's the one that what?
Takes away our orange juice.
You know, and that's one of the things they're known as the citrus beetle because of the citrus crop in China that they disrupt. But the truth of the matter is there's about 100 different tree species they go after. Maple, poplar, apples, willows, elms, oaks. There's about 100 different species that they go after. But the citrus crop is the one that the Chinese farmers are most concerned about. And so yeah, it can take away your orange juice in the morning, but that's not the only thing it's going to be involved in. The only damage it can do, it can damage the building, the wood for the building crops as well. Does damage those things. and talk arting. Yeah, and it's all over. They're native. They evolved in China, Japan, and Korea, but they are spreading all throughout Southeast Asia. They have found populations in uh, Taiwan, Myanmar, Indonesia. And they're the main reason they're so dangerous is because of how difficult they are to discover. These guys, this is the citrus longhorn beetle. Its nearest cousin is called the Asian longhorn beetle, and the description-wise, the biggest difference between the two physically is this one has little bumps right here on the base of the wing covers. The Asian longhorn beetle does not have those. Otherwise, they're pretty much identical. They behave differently though. These guys burrow into the base of the tree, where the other one are way up high, are more eye level to humans and more noticeable. And the holes that they bore can be, half an inch wide. And so if you're high enough up, you can see those. If the bug is burrowing high enough up, they're visible, and it's not as bad because you can discover it early enough to do something about it. But these guys will infest a whole forest, a whole orchard before anybody notices that they're there. Because of how low to the ground they burrow. G-Man has my profile picture. It's difficult to not notice that is my profile picture. That is a picture of me. There's a guy in the chat room with a picture of me sitting on top of a tank in Iraq. It is difficult not to notice that. I'm pretty sure, I'm just guessing here, but I'm pretty sure that's my dad.
You maybe should have used a different profile.
No, that's perfectly okay. It was a bit unexpected to look up and see a picture of me in my chat from Iraq. My parents helped me out. They go around, they have 5 or 6 different ways to log in. There's at least 3 phones in the house, 3 computers, and they'll go around and log in from all the different phones and computers to make sure that I have an audience.
Me, it's if this one, when I want to use links, I can go to the next one
Seamlessly.
I need to take this one to the shop.
Rick, you letting your beautiful bride sleep in this morning? Or is she arting along with us this morning? I tell you, once you get in the habit of getting up in the morning and arting, it's addictive. Once you're established that that's your time of day to art, if you wake up late and you don't art that day, it messes with you. It makes you feel like your whole day's out of whack. I've had that struggle, especially since starting this show. Of course, now I don't ever miss getting up in the morning arting because I do this every morning. Every morning. You would think somebody who loves sleep as much as I do, I would have made arrangements to have at least one morning a week that I could sleep in. That probably would have been wise. But it did not work out that way. No, not many people have accused me of being too terribly wise. There's Pam. She's here, but just barely. Do you also suffer from birthday cake overload? I don't let her do anything. She does what she feels inspired to. I don't let her do anything. I do. My wife. I harass my wife insufferably. She's trying to sleep, and I'm sitting there and going, hey, don't you want to wake up? Don't you want to wake up? I've been, because I've been up for hours. Don't you want to wake up and go do something? We could go do something. You want to go do something? I let my wife sleep in.
Rick gives her coffee and hopes for the best.
It's not because I'm a tyrant or anything like that. I mean, I guess I could be considered a bit of a tyrant. It's not because I'm a tyrant who tries to control my wife. It's because I miss her and I'm excited to see her. And she's all, get away from me. She's like one of them rabbits we were talking about the other day. I come by and I'm trying to spend time with her and trying to get her up so we can go do stuff, and she starts throwing punches. Into that, so it's okay. This is a family show.
I get tickled at your lovely young bride yesterday because they had to stop and camp last night.
Right.
And they stopped for dinner. And they ate at one of her most favorite places in the entire world.
That sounds like sarcasm.
It is. They stopped at Golden Corral.
Oh, I love Golden Corral.
I know, but she does not.
Oh, I know.
But, when you have 3 van loads full of scouts, you gotta feed them.
Yeah, she's gone camping. She and my son are gone camping to Georgia.
They have a lot of scouts on this trip.
Yeah, it's a fun trip. I probably never told you guys this before, but this is my favorite part of the process. This is my absolute favorite part of the process. This is the part for me that turns it from lines on a page to a dimensional object. Absolutely love this part of the process.
I saw a photo yesterday on Instagram, and my goodness, I wish you'd have a model of that.
All you have to do is click the arrow on the bottom and type my name.
No, okay.
You can share that to me. You can share that to me. You click the arrow on the bottom and type my name, and you can share that to me. And I would be happy to draw that frog. You'll never find it again. It's gone forever. Once you click away, once the bots have decided you've seen enough of it, the bots decide that you can't ever see it again. And no matter how much you scroll, my problem is by the time I scroll, once I start scrolling, I'll scroll for about 10 minutes trying to find it again. And even if I found it, I wouldn't know that's what I was looking for because I forgot what I was scrolling for. Even if I found it, I would have no idea.
He is a monster. No, Claudia.
Good morning, Claudia. Claudia has a button. Claudia has a button. I think that's funny that I programmed those buttons for Rick and Pamela, for Claudia, for Ivy, my mom and dad. I don't have one for Joe. I don't have one for Adele or Blue Daisy or.
Haven't identified that scrolling issue.
Yeah, no matter how long you scroll, you'll never find it again. But even if you did, you got to remember what it was. So that's an issue.
And all of a sudden, it's an hour and a half past when you started.
What's that?
It's an hour and a half past.
Who said that?
When you first started scrolling.
Oh, when you first started scrolling?
Right.
Because you've lost
Not
some.
only do you forget what you're looking for, but you've lost an hour and a half.
Yeah, you've lost all that time. I thought you were trying to tell me it was time change already.
No. No.
I've lost thread of the conversation, let alone thread of what we were searching for. I'm a simple man. I'm a simple man.
Oh, Brother Dark.
I am a man of constant sorrow. How'd we get there?
Who knows? I think we're scrolling in our minds.
Oh. I might have drawn him just a little bit too big. I'm going to have to truncate his shadow on his antennae just a little bit. Yeah, essence of shadow. Essence of shadow. Talk, Arting. One more. Alrighty, now we can dry that and we can go for some color. I like Sunday, so we can take our time. Completely missed the subtle hint. I think it was ring the notification bell.
I think that's what I said. Ding, ding, ding. Ring the notification bell. Settle in.
Trying to blend that dividing line back in a little bit. Let's scrub it back in. I don't like it being so. It makes it look like it's not a shadow when it's so distinct. All right. Look at him with his shadows, though. Before I added any color. Take a picture.
That's a good mug.
Before I add any color. Look. I like that. That's nice.
Almost wouldn't have color.
Almost. Almost wouldn't add color. But this is the fun part, right? I mean, after the shading, this is the fun part.
You're going to start with cobalt blue?
No, I'm actually going to start with ochre and vermilion. Because he has this little ochre pinstripe around the back of his head, and his shell is a warm black. So I'm going to warm his shell up first, and then we're going to go back with some cobalt blue.
You like it bright and shiny.
Yeah, because we're making black. Remember?
Yep.
We're not going to use black. We're going to make black. We're going to only preserve the black for the very, very darkest darks. So the first thing I want to do is I want to warm the shell up with some vermilion, making sure to avoid the white spots and the highlight. What? Did you start to say something about Rick?
I said pretty. It's already 6 o'clock.
Oh my, it's a good thing I don't have to work today. About the only thing I have going on is this apple fritter day. This morning, your lunch.
Oh. I asked that question yesterday. I would have said yes, I'm chocolate liver. That's how I felt. When the front went through.
Well, I tell you what, that front was a killer yesterday. That may have been why I needed so much sleep. All right. Now, I need a place to put my cobalt blue. I'm going to move off some of that Payne's gray that I made earlier. Make a little room for some cobalt blue there. Now I can get a real light coat of cobalt blue. Very light coat of cobalt blue. Well, a little darker than that. And I can go all along this whole side over here and just skip over that highlight a little bit.
Rick said Ted was screaming vermilion from the throne room. And then Connie says she has her mother-in-law birthday today. And then she has throne room, as in toilet.
Yes. Yes. Rick is oversharing this morning. One of their features is on their antennae. They have blue or white stripes, blue or white, or both, around the banding around the base of their segments. And this model has blue on the segments of the antenna. Now we can come back with some Prussian blue. Let's throw in a touch of burnt orange. I still don't want black. Go around the spots in the highlight. Shiny things are either shiny or they are not. They don't transition to shiny. So if you have a shiny thing and it's got a highlight on it, that highlight is a stark line. It's not a transition line. Unless there's a texture, which if there's a texture, then it's not going to be shiny. It's going to it's going to have that texture. So if you're doing a crystal ball or a shiny bug, highlight should be a stark white line. But I have to distinguish between the white spot and the highlight. That was one of the reasons why we went over it with cobalt blue before. And it's funny to me how all of these colors, it's almost counterintuitive how all of these colors work together to make the shading and the temperature of the drawing, how they change everything once you start adding them. It seems almost wrong that it should work so well. Because it's white, it should be white, right?
It says you're so good at filling in the whole page.
And that is a struggle, Claudia. I got to tell you, that has been a struggle my whole life. If you go back and you look at some of my other sketches, though, you'll see sometimes I miss putting the sketch on the center of the page. I forget about the shadow. That has been a struggle my whole life, and that's one of the things my wife, the art teacher, complains about, is people who don't fill the whole page. I thank you for the compliment, but it's a struggle because, you know, a lot of times I will draw these things this life size to the model. It's a for real struggle that I think every artist knows. You spend all this time drawing and painting this one little thing that you really wanted to draw and paint, and you look up and you've only covered 1/10 of the canvas. What, Mom?
She said that's why I say this is so good. Then she wants to know if we have this animal where we live.
No, this animal has been in the United States twice. They caught it both times. In 1999, they found it in Athens, Georgia, in a crepe myrtle, and they managed to get it stopped before it infested anything else. And then again in 2001, which is probably part of the same infestation considering the time period, they found a breeding colony. In 99 they found a single animal and they managed to catch it and stop it. In 2001 they found a breeding colony in Washington State. I'm not going to try and pronounce the town, but they found a breeding colony in Washington State, and they managed to eradicate that breeding colony. But no, this animal is not native to the United States at all. But its cousin has had a foothold here, and it cost a couple of $1 billion to eradicate. They use pheromones to communicate, and the males have this super long antennae like this. The females have long antennae about the length of their body, but the male's antenna is almost twice the length of the body, because they're doing double duty. Not only are they sensing the pheromones that the females are putting out for breeding, but they have to also recognize the territorial pheromones of other males. And considering that they are boring animals, not that they're dull, but that they dig holes into the wood, they have to be able to rely on their sense of smell to sense invaders and competition. And so the that's why the antennae are so long.
Emma says, wow, that motor chicken looks like he could just walk off the page.
Thank you. Thank you very much. They fly. So once they get into a new area, they may they may spread out rapidly because they fly so well. The Asian longhorn beetle, which again, very similar in appearance, just missing the bumps at the base of the wing covers. New York and Chicago spent $369 million fighting off the Asian longhorn beetle invasion. But again, the Asian longhorn beetle is easier to discover because the holes in the tree are eye level to humans, and these guys are at the base of the tree, usually covered up by undergrowth, covered up by grass, covered up by any number of other things that might hide it. So these things can infest the tree for years before anybody notices that that the tree's been infested. And by the time they discover it, there might be too much damage to save the tree. So it's really, really important to stop it from getting into your citrus crop specifically. But citrus isn't the only thing they attack. So they'll attack apple trees. They'll attack, any other kind of fruit tree, as well as any other kind of building wood, hardwood, softwood. It doesn't really matter to them. I'm not sure if citrus is a softwood or a hardwood, but I know elm is not the same as citrus, and poplar is not the same as elm or citrus. And these things will infest those trees as well. Willows, oaks, and elms. I already mentioned maples. There's about 100 different species of tree and shrub that these things are known to infest regularly. I have so many comments about that, but I shall refrain. I wonder what she's talking about. Okay, we need to dry this so I can ink it. I'm acting like I'm finished, and I haven't even inked it yet. In China, the farmers have used a weaver ant. I think that's right. Yeah, a weaver ant to hunt them. And they actually import weaver ant colonies into the area around their trees, and the weaver ants will hunt these things. But they also have discovered a fungus that will kill between 50 to 100% of the offspring, and so they will take a foam pad with the fungus on it, and they will wrap the base of the trees in that foam pad to make sure that fungus doesn't, make sure that the beetles don't get established into the tree colony. Because once the beetles get established, the other insects, they start wearing their hair long, start smoking that funky cigarettes. She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah. With a love like that, you can be glad. Can't talk, Harding. I wonder how many times I say that in a year. I wonder how hard it would be to put a montage together. Video montage of me saying can't talk, Harding. Did I get that back leg? Yeah. All right.
And Melissa said that was spooky. You and Rick started singing that at the same time.
Great minds think alike, Pamela.
And Connie says probably over 1,000.
I say it almost that many times each episode. All right. I promise it's not going to walk off the page. I like this one.
I do too.
We're only 20 minutes long. What is today? Today is the 12th of July. I like painting bugs. I don't know if you can tell, but I really like painting bugs and stuff like that. Bugs, snails, frogs. I don't know if you can tell. I mean, I'm okay with rabbits and stuff. Pretty girls. I really like drawing pretty girls. But there is, compared to the photograph. Of course, the camera hasn't rotated in a while. I turned the camera rotation off earlier before I started inking. Claudia gave it an 11 out of 10. Very much sticker worthy.
Yep.
Thank you. Let's look at it from my perspective. Pamela says she told Rick that insects are my jam. Are my jam. Insects are my jam. There is, whoa, which way do we need to go? That way. There it is from my perspective. So that's what I did today. Tomorrow, I have no idea what we have tomorrow. And I'm not even sure what I'm going to say about it because I don't remember opening this egg at all. No memory whatsoever of opening this egg. So we're all going to be in suspense today. What's going on with the vertical? Something's wrong with the vertical. Vertical sources. Vertical face. Something is amiss. There we go. There we go. Okay. Excuse me. I have no idea. I haven't opened this egg. I don't know what's in it. Oh. Okay. It's a coal car. It's a coal car from the trains. We can talk about when trains transitioned from steam engines to diesel engines, how the coal car basically became obsolete. They no longer needed the coal car up front so that they could shovel into the steam engine. We can talk about how transporting coal on trains is more efficient because it can carry so much more coal than a truck can carry. and that stuff is really heavy. There's lots of stuff we can talk about on cold cars tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. Texas time. So you're going to want to set your notification bell so you don't miss that. And honestly, it's perfect for a Monday because I mean it's just basically a square, a box. So we'll be able to knock that out before I have to go to work. And you know, watch me say that, and I'll get caught up in all the minute details of the intricate details of the reflections. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. And it is Apple Fritter Day, so if you get a chance, go get you an apple fritter. I'm going to go get two, one for me and one for my grandmother. Hope she's not listening because that's supposed to be a surprise. Thank you so much for joining me. I do look forward to this every day when I get to art with my besties. I truly run down the stairs so I can be here with you. It holds me accountable to my art practice and is often the only art I get to do in a day. So thank you so much for joining me. Pamela, Rick, Claudia, Mom, Dad, thank you for your help as always. I do look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Same Artistic Biker time, same Artistic Biker channel. And then we dance. We dance until somebody says they see me dancing, because when they see me dancing, I know that the lag is caught up to the stream and I won't get cut off mid-sentence. Nobody likes that. That's rude. It gives you a chance to click the clicky thingies this way if you're on the horizontal, or this way if you're on the vertical. It gives everybody a chance to say hello and goodbye to each other. And the most important thing is that I don't get cut off mid-sentence, because being cut off mid-sentence is rude. Nobody likes that.